Hey, everybody, we are back. This is H10 Hanshin Tigers English News. I am T Ray, the founder of the podcast. And my partner in crime over here is Sanjay. How you doing, brother?
Aloha, brother T-Ray. I'm fine and dandy and loving talking about Hanshin Tigers with you.
The 5-2-1 Hanshin Tigers are starting the season quite well. We're pretty happy about how things are going so far. And so we just finished recording episode 171 of the pod proper. And now it's time for us to talk to you while showing our faces. So we hope you don't mind looking at us while we talk. And we're going to go back actually not to opening day, but the day before opening day, Sanjay, because I had a pretty fun experience.
And pray tell, what was that?
Yes, I will tell. So some of you may know this, and we didn't mention it in the pod, but who threw out the opening pitch on opening day?
Kami-sama, Hotoke-sama, Basu-sama.
That is correct. The man, the legend, Randy Bass, senator or former senator, Randy Bass of Oklahoma, of Hanshin Tigers fame. Of course, you already know this. 1985 season MVP, 1985 Japan Series MVP, Triple Crown winner, had a chance at breaking Sadaharu Oh's record, and is still known and beloved and deified in the Kansai region. So people love this man. Love him. He used to come every Christmas and put on a Santa Claus suit and walk around the Hanshin department store, just spreading some Christmas joy. That was part of the team promotion and stuff like that. But they've stopped doing that. And for the first time since pre-COVID, he came back to Japan when the team asked him to do the opening pitch because his buddy and former teammate Okada, of course, was the new manager for the Hanshin Tigers. Well, Daily Sports newspaper here did an exclusive interview with Randy Bass. And normally they would just ask his agent and your senpai, Marty Keenert, to be the interpreter for the reporters and, to be the go-between between the reporters and Randy Bass. But for some reason, and maybe it's because I have a history with Daily, they asked me to step in and be that guy.
Cool.
Very cool. So I actually got to sit at the table right across from Randy Bass. I was sitting beside the reporters while they were asking questions, and I got to contribute to Daily Sports being able to have some good articles about the man. And I still fully intend to put out an English version of that on H10, the website, so that everybody else can read it and know what it was all about. But yeah, it was about an hour long, and it was great. It was great. Had a good time.
Was it sort of a jovial exchange, a fun place to be, good, interesting vibes?
Yeah, well, first of all, I had met Randy Bass before. Actually, I'd met him twice before. So the first time I met him when he was Santa, and I brought my 1-year-old son to the department store to see him.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Did you tell him that story?
I told him that the second time I met him.
Okay.
So that was it was either 2014 or 2015. I forget which one when I saw him at Christmas. And then in October of 2017, your man, Marty Keenert, called me up and said, hey, Randy's in town doing promotions for whatever. And we've got like a 30-minute pocket of time where we got nothing to do, and we'll be at the hotel lobby if you want to come and meet him and talk to him. And I was like, yes, I do. So that was like 5.5 years ago.
Sweet.
I went there that time, talked to him, and I had mentioned about, bringing my son to the department store. And he's like, oh yeah, I remember that. Probably because not many foreigners do that, right? It's mostly Japanese people with their kids or whatever, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Fair point. Yeah.
And so then this time when I met him, he's all like, hey, oh yeah, I remember you. Hey, Trevor, right? How you doing? And so he fully remembered me this time as well. And so, oddly enough, I didn't feel even a twinge of nervousness as I sat across from him, or as I shook his hand, or as I interpreted for him in what is, a pretty important role.
Sure.
Yeah. But so it was pretty
Daily
good vibes.
sports is kind of a big deal.
Yeah. Like opening day, first pitch, plus an exclusive interview with Daily Sports. I mean, those are, pretty big deals. And so being asked to do that was a huge honor. And the fact that Randy just seemed like, very down to earth and humble, very positive. They asked him, first of all, they were like, hey, can you pick up this bat and, swing it a couple times so we can do some photos? And he's like, yeah, sure. And he went through the motions of that really well. And then, they said, okay, well, now have a seat. And then, yeah, like I just did the interpreting. And so I've done a lot of interpreting before for other people or in other situations. And often it's just one sentence at a time, right?
Mhm.
Like they give a sentence and then you convert it.
Right.
But this wasn't like that. It was like full paragraphs at a time. So I wasn't fully ready, but
Oh man.
and the dumb thing is
Interpreter's nightmare, right?
kind of. So, I mean, if I had been nervous, I'd have been screwed. The good thing is I wasn't too nervous. So I brought a notepad with me so that I could take notes, and then I forgot to take it out of my bag. But I was doing pretty well. I was remembering almost all the details. And then midway through, the reporter next to me gave me his notebook. And so I started to take notes anyways. But yeah, it went well overall. And like I said, Randy was a very cool guy. And I kind of knew, some of what he was going to say anyways. And some of it was kind of new. And so it's, yeah, it went very well. Though. I mean, at the end of it, I was nervous because Marty was there. And Marty knows Randy better than anybody on this earth, pretty much. And, Marty told me beforehand, he's like, I know his answers before he even gives them. So, but I won't interject unless you make a mistake. And he was sitting right there.
No pressure.
Yeah, exactly. So he interjected once because I think I might have forgotten one little piece of information, maybe. But then another time he interjected with a joke, which, sorry, Marty, wasn't very funny. But that was it. And then at the end, Marty
Hopefully
said,
he's not watching this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Full respect to you, Marty. But yeah, he said I did a good job. Bass said I did a good job. Daily Sports said I did a good job. And so, yeah, I guess I did a good job.
Good job, T-Ray.
Arigato gozaimasu. Yeah, it's fun. I hope I get to do it again sometime for, if not Randy Bass, then somebody else or, whatever. I think I kind of proved myself to Daily Sports, and maybe the Hanshin Tigers will catch wind of this as well and say, hey, this is the guy we need on our team. Although it hasn't happened yet. So I don't know.
There's a first time for everything,
Yeah, exactly. There's something, there's got to be something that, tips that first domino. That said, I kind of feel like the dominoes have already been tipping because, I mean, how did I get this far to the point where I was asked to be the interpreter for Randy Bass? Seriously. Yeah, good times. What else can I bring up about this that was interesting? So I guess as many of you know, Randy Bass was elected into the Japanese Baseball Hall of Fame earlier this year, I think in January.
Yep.
And Daily Sports, I guess, had asked Okada at that time, like, hey, have you contacted Randy? And Okada was like, no, you know what? Like, he's remarried and he's got young kids and he's too busy. And Daily Sports was just like, what? Right. So they asked him this time. They're like, so is it true you got remarried and you've got little kids? Like, how old are they? And he goes, yeah, I remarried in 2002. And we had a kid right away. So my daughter from that marriage is 20 years old. So obviously it was false information somehow from Okada. Or maybe Okada was just making an excuse.
Somehow it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. But the other interesting thing on the same note with Okada is that a couple of things that I took out of this. One, Randy Bass said he never saw in his 6 years playing with Okada, he never saw Okada angry. Which is good. Like he's always level-headed. He's very analytical, which we've seen already.
Yes, we have.
Yeah. And then he also said, like, of the trio, right? It was him and Kakefu and Okada, the three of them. Right. He said that, Kakefu was the serious one and Okada was kind of the mood maker. Which is
interesting.
Cool. Yeah. I didn't really see him as the jokester, but yeah. But then also he'd said Okada was one of the guys that taught him how to play Mahjong. Or
Mahjong,
shogi,
right? Yeah,
my bad. Shogi. And Bass beat him at shogi once, and then after that, Okada refused to play him ever again.
Yeah, I heard that story somewhere too.
Yeah, and then also on the note of Okada, and this is kind of people who read the news or have read Bass interviews before know this maybe, or Okada, whatever. But Okada's wife is fluent in English, and so she kind of helped to solidify the relationship between Okada and Bass.
I did not know that.
She facilitated a lot of the communication, and particularly like when they used to have spring training like in Hawaii or other places, and on off days, or when they were done practice or whatever, like you know um Bass and his wife and Okada and his wife would go out and do stuff, and it was just really smooth and really easy. And he had said, I'd love to get in touch with Okada's wife and just thank her again for all she did. So that was kind of cool just to hear that and to be right there for that.
That's a cool story. I did not know that.
Yeah. So, just another one of these things. I also thought it was interesting. I think that he had said that Okada's wife learned English in Montreal, something like that.
Mm.
Which, Montreal is
Canada.
mostly a French city, so that's a bit of a surprise. And secondly, Randy Bass used to play for the Montreal Expos. So they kind of had that Montreal connection where maybe they were able to talk about, oh, do you remember this part of Montreal or whatever? Because, they both lived in the city for a certain amount of time.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool stuff.
Yeah. So overall, man, it was just a clean, fun experience. I got to, of course, get a picture with Randy Bass coming right here. And, it's just another feather in my cap. And, next time that Bass is in town, I hope that he reaches out to me instead of me reaching out to him. Haha. That'd be great. So that's all we got for you for today, I believe, for the post show. But check down in the show notes for all sorts of links to different stuff that you can, places you can follow us, or things that you can read, like the original interview that I did with Randy Bass, things like that. Of course, this channel is for you. So if there's anything you want me to talk about or show at Koshien Stadium or wherever, give me some requests. I will take them seriously. And if I've got time, I will make some videos for you, the fine folks who love the Hanshin Tigers, just like we do. Thanks for joining us today. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Sanjay, again. And let's keep going, Hanshin Tigers.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Are ade, are.
Ade ade.